Rewatch what? Okay. I allowed it, but it looked like Andy blocked it. That's all. Fuck this word. Haram. Oh my god, that's fucking funny. Right now it's crack. Okay. What, rewatch what, Zeron? Taco says rich fucking white people. Is a thing in the Bo Burnham song. Oh. Sacco. Now I get it. Yeah. No, you should be fun. Rich fucking white people. See? Okay. So, I'm going to switch to politics. Moderators, be prepared. We're getting all sorts of the fun, spicy takes today, so. Okay. So. Don't abuse it. Okay. So recently, there's been new updates in Israel. This is more or less good news, but it's still not great news. It's not going to change everything overall because the left in Israel is still very, very pro moving in. And yeah, you can say it now, Robomax. You shouldn't have an issue. With even their left wing being very still pro-Zionist, which I don't, again, I want to avoid using that word. Zionism means like a million different things to a million different people. But extreme Zionism, as well as kicking people out of their homes and working on this colonialism project. So it's not, the situation's still not good, but there is a possibility that because Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, who's been really unchallenged for a while and also has failed to make a government, looks like they're trying to push Netanyahu out with a coalition of people in their parliamentary system, which has a vast range from like leftist to very right wing. So it's a fringe bet already, so we'll see, but I want to learn more about this. Also, actually talking about Israel and some things that I would like to, stuff that I've shown, and I'm not entirely against all of it, but I was watching Aristocracy recently, and I think she brought up a very valid point that I think is important to talk about, because I showed this, a lot of streamers showed this, and have talked about it. We watched this a little while back, right? With Abby Martin, where these people look very fashy.
I don't trust him.
So what I will say about this, I do think that a big part of it is real. However, Abby Martin, and I'm very conflicted about it too, because Abby Martin was a 9/11 truther, and I don't know how I feel about that. She also worked for RT America, which is Russian state-sponsored media in America. She did call them out on the annexation of Ukraine, and then left, but still. And then the other part, and thing that Aristocracy brought up that I do think is very valid, and that I should have brought up as someone who makes videos, not just streams, but I study film and I shoot video and all sorts of things like that. Those were obviously edited. Not saying that they weren't true, but they might have very well skipped out on all the other more sympathetic Israeli people there. And I think it is important that we also remember and continue to remember that not everybody in Israel is like all fascist. Because they're not. There is a lot of that goes around through their far-right ideology, the Chud ideology that is in Israel, that not everyone prescribes to, obviously, just like we have our Chuds here. And And there is like, you know, what is it, like war watching or something that they call it, when they have people literally just go up and watch people get slaughtered or beat them up on Jerusalem Day. These things do happen, but I do think it's also important that we remember that like these videos do obviously come with a bias, and they do come with people editing other parts out because they want to deliver their narrative. It's not always wrong, but it's not good when it's deceptive. So just an FYI on that. And that's with anything that we read or watch. 9/11 is not amazing. I will agree that there were atrocities, but I think one of the biggest atrocities is that we went to war for as fucking long as we did for it. He's omnisexual but has preferences for white people? What? 9/11 is a stain on our soul and democracy. I'm so lost in this chat at this point. Me, same. What if the USA does 9/11 once a fucking month? Yeah, well, we did. Not the same infrastructural destruction, but to other nations? Fuck that. They probably do. Yeah, honestly. I just wish it wasn't civilians. True. What do you think we did to the Middle East? Yeah. The fact that the Pentagon didn't get hit, but the Twin Towers did. The Pentagon did get hit, Zeron. It did. It's just really had, well, its defenses literally, like, it was made to, like, take attacks. That's why it only did a bit. See? It got hit. It got slowed down, too. So there was a lot of factors into that. Yeah, not as badly. It didn't get hit as badly. But it also had, again, it's also not a giant tower either. You know? So it took it on a different way. Took the damage in a different way. Okay. I have no respect for those who hurt civilians. Agreed. Oh, and then the other thing that I have bias on is that Abby Martin's apparently married to Michael Prisner, who I stan. Can't the FBI and CIA get hit as well? Fuck government surveillance. Seriously. And you guys might remember Michael Prisner. I've showed him before. But this guy. So this is who Abby Martin's actually married to. And I'm all about this guy. I think he's based as fuck. But that's why I'm conflicted on the Abby Martin thing. I'm sure that some of what she was saying is accurate, but I do agree that there's probably an agenda there when she was going and asking about that, and probably cut people out. So
an insane week for Israeli politics, and we have an exclusive interview with Benny Gantz, who is the defense minister. He was the alternate prime minister under Benjamin Netanyahu. He's also overseen the most recent Palestinian conflicts and has a lot to say about the politics and about the situation in Gaza today. So we now know that there will likely be a coalition government which is going to be formed, which will oust Benjamin Netanyahu. As his longtime rival, how do you feel about that?
I feel that it's good for Israel that it's a new start for us.
In Drunk Physics, if you're still here, I see the links that you sent me. Thank you.
Here. He did a lot for the state of Israel, and I don't forget that. But it's about time that we will have a new prime minister, a new government that will concentrate in solving the problems of the country and not just concentrate on its political survivability, which was the case of Benjamin Netanyahu.
That was a very diplomatic and polite answer for someone who's been at loggerheads with this man for a long time.
I was trained as military diplomat for 2.5 years.
Benjamin Netanyahu obviously has incredible political survival skills. What happens to him next?
He's facing a serious issue with the state court, with the provisional court, and I hope that he will get it okay out of it. He will have to control his party if he wants to stay around, and no one knows how strong and how long will the next government be able to function.
Gantz has traveled to the US to meet with American officials. Top of the agenda is lessening the threat of Iran, as well as requesting more US military aid to replenish Israel's Iron Dome, which intercepts incoming rockets.
Hey everyone, say hi to Insta for me, would you?
The Democratic Party in the US have taken a pretty pro-Palestinian stance. I'm wondering whether you are worried at all about that and worried that Israel is at risk of losing their special relationship with the US?
But I hope we won't be losing our special relations.
Yes, go check
I
out
think
Raven.
The bonds between the two countries are very much in place, very much solid. President Biden is a known friend of Israel for
You're all
decades
good.
already.
I'll show you
And I'm
off.
sure that he will practice his friendship into the future as well.
Are you worried at all, though? I mean, given that, recently there has been a lot of anger, I would say, internationally across the world.
Spam those
Yeah,
emotes if you got them,
I
too.
hear that.
Say hello.
Of course, I don't accept it. Let us not forget the basic reality. We are talking about the case Hamas. It's a terror organization that holds as hostages his own population. He's operating from populated area by intention against civilian population on our side. What we are doing, we are trying to fight it as accurate as we can. And unfortunately, and I'm very sad for every casualties that is not part of Hamas that was hit, what would one expect from us? To sit here and do nothing? It's
All right, see
true
you soon, Raven.
that we are
And yes,
the stronger part
Go
in this
give
region.
Raven a follow. Not a political
But it
streamer,
doesn't
but
mean
he does
that we are not
lately
the right
playing a lot of Temtem, some Valheim with
strong.
myself and stuff like that too. Give him a check. A check.
That's right.
Go check him out.
I mean, you say that Palestinians are held hostage by Hamas and that they're victims of Hamas, but I mean, I think that most Palestinians within Gaza would say that they're more than anything victims of Israel and Israel's aggressiveness.
Not the way I see it. It's Hamas who created what it created in Gaza. It's Hamas who oppressed these people. It's Hamas who goes in the street and shoots someone's knee because he didn't do what he told him. It's not Israel who does all that.
This most recent conflict killed over 240 Palestinians,
Yeah,
including...
I don't know about that. Now, Hamas does use Palestinian people and does hide in some places. They also do have a civilian sector. Their military or militancy sector, though, does not care about killing civilians. They do, or they don't. Not generally Palestinian people if they can help it, but they will, because they're ideologically opposed at all to Jewish people living there. And that's a huge issue, right? They are anti-Semitic by nature. Or not by nature, excuse me. But like, literally their charter is about getting rid of Israelis, right? And that's not good. There's a lot of people that in Palestine that do believe this and that are anti-Semitic because of this top-down propaganda, similarly in Israel. Which goes the other way, right? But let that not be a nice little take place, like a little thing to ease your mind about killing people when they say it's actually Hamas's fault that the IDF is killing people, when in fact they have. They've killed hundreds of people, with 60 children being a part of that. And they know what they're doing. And much of the human shield stuff has been debunked. Not all. And Hamas has done stuff like that before. But let's not mistake that the IDF has had a huge factor in playing in the destruction of things like the PCRF building, Palestine Children Relief Fund, which, by the way, majority of people in the vastly densely populated Gaza are mostly, I believe, under the age of 17. And those are the ones that are being bombed and shelled. The AP building that also had a Al Jazeera net bombed. Like, these are huge issues. Hospitals, schools, all because they're saying that these are where Hamas keep their weapons. A lot of times without proof being provided. Now, even if there was, is that a reason to destroy the infrastructure of these people? I don't think so. And I don't think the occupation of how they're doing this is acceptable by any measure. Johnny, mask wearer, while alone in the car, was next to me today. What the fuck? Welcome to our community. Also, your channel has been banned from 25 plus channels, including Anna the Nugget. Okay. Interesting.
67 children. What do you say to the Palestinian families who have lost their most loved
Ooh.
ones, lost their livelihoods, lost
I'm
their
very
homes, lost
sorry.
everything.
I'm very sorry for the loss of life, which we didn't want to cause. And you know, we have been using techniques to warn the society to evacuate houses before we push them down, and things that other militaries are not doing. I suggest for them not to let Hamas to operate
Hold on, guys. I'm
from
just sending
in
this.
or near their houses.
I mean, obviously that's not an option for them, right? Like
Why
they live
not?
in, well, it's a very concentrated area.
Yes,
and,
but still, this is my home. Why would I let you to have a launcher in my backyard?
well, I don't think they necessarily know.
Well, no. They know what's in their house. They know what's in their yards.
Yeah, but not
or in
everyone
their
knows.
backyards. They
And
are aware.
mind you,
Maybe
not a
they
defense
don't
of it,
have-
but when you're dying all the time and hold on. When people are dying all around you all the fucking time, there's no excuse for it, but these are why, and that you have no other options, no one else that you can vote for or anything like that. Then yeah, of course they get more and more radicalized, and yeah, people feel like they might have to cling on to something like that. The way to start this piece is by stopping the cycle of violence, and getting Palestinians to not feel like that they need to have someone like Hamas being their authority. And when people are getting beat up or killed, it doesn't help with that. And same with a lot of things. There's like de-escalation, right? And Israel is the military force here that has that.